Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Kodash. And I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone that rule well, and blessings to the hopeful elect out there listening and learning, and teaching this word in sincerity and truth, in the hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days. And I'm just gonna make this one quick. I just wanted to, do a video going into this video that you can see on the screen here, put up by mediocre tutorials. I can't remember what these acronym stands for. Let me go into it here. Mediocre tutorials and reviews. And yeah, basically it's just gonna be a response video to this one. Alright, because here it is. We've been telling you that you women are gonna suffer. And the spirits had me pause it at 1414, which is a spiritual number, man. 144. So basically Trump's come out and they're trying to pass this bill, lowering the age of SNAP, which is like food stamps and that, governmental aid and dependent child, right, from 18 to 7. And he's gonna go into it. And I'm gonna play you this video, but what I wanted to really, really focus on, what prompted me to do this lesson, was the fact that this congresswoman, she, from the Democratic Party, she pretty much came out and used a word that I really, really wanted to go into and filter it through biblical prophecy, because it's just way too accurate, and the Spirit compelled me to do this lesson because it actually outlines that, you women, this is just the tip of the iceberg, man. You're gonna suffer, man. The scriptures tell you in Isaiah, the 32nd chapter. In fact, let me just go ahead and read it first. Isaiah chapter 32. And 9. Alright. And it reads, it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." Yeah, rise up, ye women that are at ease. You've had a lot of women that are, been at ease in Babylon, been at ease, taking men for a ride out here. You've been at ease, leaning on the government, for their aid, going to your sugar daddy Esau, to basically fund your lifestyles, fund you being a whore, basically, running around, getting with every single different type of man. 1 minute you with an Elamite looking geezer, next minute you with a Moabite, next minute you with an Edomite, next minute you with Pookie and Ray Ray. And you got women out here pumping out children for multiple different men. And that's absolutely disgusting, man. All right. And now you're being punished for it. And we told you, that when Trump, gets in, that he's going to shake up the game, and he's shaking up the game. All right. So what I'm going to do is, you women that are at ease, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. So take heed. All right. Like we've been telling you for years. All right. You women are going to start suffering. All right. Take heed, man. All right. This is not a joke. Internet melts down over Trump's new bill to cut food stamps. You see that? We told you that Trump was going to shake shit up. And now you got this congresswoman from the Democratic Party. She's slamming the Trump bill, all right, of the lowering of the age of governmental dependence from 18 to 7. All right, let's go ahead and play some of this, man. And the reactions are amazing. I'm telling you. And it seems to be a lot of these comment boards, or when I've seen, you went through some comments in this reaction video, a lot of them seem to be coming from women, and they be getting likes and retweets and, in the thousands. But the moment someone actually sticks up, or actually adds or shines some light on the bill and sticks up for the fact that, these women have been taking advantage for the longest time, and now it's time for them to pay. You got, like 29 likes, or you know what I mean. The ratio is staggering, basically, to say the least. Excuse me, 1 second. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and play this video here. Oh, by the way, you know, fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm not making any money from this, from the contents of this video. I'm just basically using it for educational purposes. And again, I say fair use, fair use, fair use. I'm not making any money from this video.
TikTok fad or thing. It's also something that is being pushed by Congress women. Okay, take a look at the young lady in front of you right here. Her name is Representative Chantel Brown. The article was
Chantel Brown. So let's see what she got to say. And she's from the Democratic Party, by the way. Okay, so she's opposing this bill because obviously, you know, she's on the other side. Well, you know, the scriptures speak about the two horns like a lamb that spake like a dragon in Revelation 13 and 11. We've been telling you, it doesn't matter who you fucking vote for. You can vote for the Republicans or the Democrats. It ain't going to change a damn thing. You know, because ultimately the elites, they want this chaos now. They want this shit on and popping. It's going down. You know, they're ready to push out that chip. They want chaos. All right, they want people, you know, they want Jake to suffer. They want, you know, Jacob's trouble is coming. You know, they're about to be like madmen sparing none. All right, and guess what? You women in that time, you're going to be the most vulnerable. And this is the beginning of the end for you, okay? Jacob's trouble is here. It's starting.
President Trump's big, beautiful bill was passed by the House. At the House Rules Committee hearing on Wednesday morning, the U.S. Representative Chantel Brown, Democrat of Ohio, proposed an amendment to strike a provision in the bill that lowers the age of a dependent from 18 to 7 to recipients of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program SNAP benefits. Let's listen to her talk.
So let's see what she thinks about that bill. All right, that the governmental aid is going to be now lowered from 18 to 7. Let's see what she thinks about it. I just want to tell you, Eve, man, Eve, you made that pact with the devil, and now it's coming back to bite you in the ass. Okay, you wanted to side with the enemy, and now the enemy is fucking you over. Here we go.
My amendment would strike an especially harsh provision in this bill that is rooted in cruelty, not policy. This simple, straightforward amendment.
Did you just hear what she just said? It's rooted in cruelty, not policy. I want you to remember that word cruelty because we're going to go into that. All right? We're going to go into that. You got these women, especially the so-called black women, they love positions of power, man. You know, they love it. You know, they love to, you know, be talking all authoritative and stuff and whatever, bossing men around. And the scriptures tell you in 1 Timothy 2 and 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, right? Then Eve. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the scripture says, from, you know, through her became the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. From the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Right? You see these women, the Lord said that he would create a new thing in the earth. You know, a woman shall compass a man. That's in Jeremiah 31 and 22, I believe. All right. And you're seeing that these women are completely batshit crazy and they're going around a man's authority and they love it so. Okay. And they've been given the ability to do that through feminism, through governmental aid, through I don't need no man, I don't want no scrubs, through these music videos, through these whack-ass demonic songs that they be playing and skipping around to in these clubs, you know, snapping their fingers, all the Shanaes and the Chantels and them. You know, but you know something? Hey, we've been telling you women, man, that, hey, payback and is coming and payback is a bitch. Okay? Anyway, listen some more.
Would strike the work requirement provision in this big, bad, ugly bill that lowers the age of what we call a dependent child from 18 to 7. From 18 years old to 7 years old. So I'm abundantly clear. We're saying that 8, 9, and 10-year-olds are no longer considered dependent children. Where did this come from? Why is this necessary? Since when is a first grade?
Listen to her voice, man. She's getting all passionate about it. Where, you know, that's that authoritative voice. You know, all that's missing is the smoke coming out of her nostrils. Where is this? And why? Come on, man. Yeah, we're sick and tired of you, Eve, man. We're sick and tired of looking at you, you know, you stomping with your heavy feet. We're sick and tired of you snapping your neck, acting like you're picking grapes, getting all up in a man's face. We're sick and tired of it. And guess what? The Lord is now bringing you down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you women are going to start learning what it feels like to actually go through some shit, man. You know, now you're going to be needing that man. You're going to be needing the man. You know, I'm fucking loving what Trump's doing with this bill. This is amazing. Because it's actually hitting single parent mothers the most. Now you might get all soppy and all emotional, but what are they going to do with their children? Well, guess what? They should have stayed with their man. But they've been running around talking about they don't need no man. Right? Getting all fucking, they're pushing up their face if they get taken to the Cheesecake Factory for a date. We've been seeing the videos, man. We've been seeing the videos. And you women, the time of you women thinking that you're above a man has now come to an end. Okay? You can think that you're above a man, but guess what? The reality of it is, biblically, you are not. You are the weaker vessel. And it's time that you start digesting that fact. Like Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Huh? A war.
Not a dependent child. Preventing families with children as young as 7 from losing food assistance, that is what we're debating here.
Let's read on. Currently, SNAP allows the parents and caregivers of children under 18 a little flexibility, says Brown, if they can't meet the required 80-hour a month, okay, 20 hours per week.
So basically they're saying, look, you got to work 28 hours a week and then you'll be all right. You know what I mean? And you'll get some, you see, but the time of just lounging about, you know, you got a different man for every day of the week and not going out to work and that and whatever, being single and independent, that's coming to an end. You know?
Requirement, they don't lose access to food, according to...
Yeah, you don't lose access to food if you work. So that's basically, if you work it out, you break it down on a 5-day week, you got to work at least four hours a day. Or you might work, I don't know, 2 8-hour shifts and then 1 4-hour shift in a week. So that's like 2.5 days. You know what I'm saying? Of working a week. But then guess what? Now you're going to have to, because now you got to look for childcare, right? For all them Pookie and Ray Ray, nigglets that you got running around that you got to take care of.
This bill changes that. Brown said that the big bag ugly bill pulls away.
And you know what? You're raising these monsters, man. We've been seeing them running around, single parent households. Jake be emotional as hell. You niggas be running around, coming out of your single parent, how can I say, nests? You little hatchling, little fucking GMO babies running around with your pants hanging off your ass and that and whatever, emotional as hell. All right? So the woman, man, she's like tag team with Esau, Satan's top lieutenant, as the apostles always used to say. Is responsible. This dynamic duo is responsible for this. And you women, you siding with Esau, you gotta pay for this, man.
Benefits from the moment a child turns 7. She repeated 7 and added, that is cold calculating cut that targets struggling families. It is cruel. Let's see her
Yeah, what she said? It is cruel.
Words.
Right now, SNAP rules allow parents and caregivers with kids under the age of 18 some flexibility if they can't meet the 80-hour a month work requirement because they are raising a kid, caring for family, or stuck in a job with unpredictable hours. They don't lose access to food. This bill changes that. It pulls away basic benefits from the moment a child turns 7.
Hey, we like the number 7. That's completion, baby. 7. Okay. So they brought that number right down from 18 to 7. So you getting all these food stamps in and that, whatever, you was getting covered up to your child was 18, but now it's 7. What you gonna do, man?
7.
So let's go back to, because I don't want to just talk. I want to get the scriptures. Isaiah 32:10, it says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. And that's all your food stamps, your SNAP, your governmental aid, all of that is being cut. The vintage shall fail, right? Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, gird sackcloth upon your loins. All right, sackcloth is a garment of mourning. Okay, like when we go out there and we preach and we prophesy, we wear garments of sackcloth. You know, because it represents a state of mourning. All right, well, we wear our garments, but it's a particular traditional garment of sackcloth represents mourning. All right, and that's what we're doing when we're mourning. You know,
that is a cold, calculated cut that targets struggling families. This provision alone would make this bill reckless, but combined with the sweeping cuts to family services my Democratic colleagues have been highlighting all day.
And that's why, hey, they've been coming in there with this Doge, Department of Government Efficiency and all that, all these job cuts, all these things that are happening. The doors shall be shut in the streets, the sound of the grinding being low, job losses and that and whatever. And this is coming at a time where job losses are at an all-time high. And now they're saying that your governmental aid is coming to an end and you got to work 80 hours a month. So where they going to find a job? Because guess what? You got AI doing a lot of the jobs that you fat Americans didn't want to do. And this is all done by design. See, they're ready to cause chaos out here. Remember, the scripture says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See, you, for your lack of being circumspect, you will pay the price. Right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you will pay the price for your lack of being circumspect. Okay? Because you were too interested in bread and circuses. You were too interested in burying your head in the sand. But the playtime's over, man.
All night, it's not just irresponsible, it's cruel.
She said it's not just irresponsible, it's cruel. Now, since I'm in Isaiah, let me go over to Isaiah chapter 19. Right? It's Isaiah chapter 19 and 4. And the Egyptians, right, which the modern day Egypt, or the modern day Egypt is America. The scriptures tell you that in Revelation 11 and 8. Their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. The great city is talking about America. All right. And why does it say the dead bodies? The scriptures tell you that man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Israelites in a dead state of mind. Dead from the neck up, basically. Proverbs 21 and 16, I believe it is. Okay. So remaining in the congregation of the dead. That's why the scripture says this word is life. John 6 and 63 is a spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. These words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. That's why we told you, man, that we got the wisdom and knowledge keeping us stable in these times. But these Israelites out here that don't have the wisdom and knowledge with them, they are going to be very unstable. They're going to be very, very desperate. And they're going to get triggered and they're going to react and they're going to crash out. And that's exactly what Esau wants. And when you start crashing out, that's when they're going to, look, man, that them troops are going to roll in and they're going to be given the green light to take you niggas out. Okay? It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. What did she just say? Let's take it back.
Combined with the sweeping cuts to family services my Democratic colleagues have been highlighting all day and all night, it's not just irresponsible, it's cruel.
Yeah, you hear that? And when I saw that, when she said it was cruel, I just had to, immediately Isaiah 19 came to my mind. And a hand of a cruel Lord and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, Lord of the armies, man. All right, so you, hey, get ready, get acquainted with the cruel Lord, man, because it's coming. All right, things are happening. All right, it's going down and you can't escape. All right, you done trusted the serpent, you done trusted this devil. All right, the scripture says never trust thine enemy, and you done trusted him. So that's on you, man. Anyway, with that, I'm going to leave it there. I said I was going to keep it short and sweet. Shalom to the elect. All right, the sincere members of the hopeful elect. All right, all you women that thought you were bad and bougie and you could do it all bad by yourself, fuck you, man. Payback's a bitch.